What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today we are going to be showcasing the brand new raid exotic that comes from the Desert Perpetual Raid that was just added into Destiny 2 within the Edge of Fate expansion. And so, let's get started. Now, the exotic is called the Whirling Ovation rocket launcher, and it is unlike any other rocket launcher I've seen. So, importantly, how do you get it? Well, if you beat it on contest mode, it was a guaranteed drop. But for standard mode, it's just a very rare random drop at the end of a raid completion. So if you're looking to get your raid completion, I've got you. Check out my complete Desert Perpetual Raid guide linked right up above, gamers. But I should mention some things to note about getting it. First of all, whereas you can actually go into this raid and farm an encounter over and over again and actually get the legendary drops over and over again on the same character, with this exotic, you seem to be locked out for the chance to get it once per character per week, right? And then on top of that, guys, as you can see right here, if you go into your journey into your titles for the Desert Perpetual, there's actually different like triumphs that will increase the drop rate for this exotic, guys. So that's important to note as well. Now, moving on to the exotic, what exactly does it do? Well, the intrinsic perk is Coronal Cumulation. You hold the shoot button to charge, you press it to fire, and charged projectiles have a delayed solar payload. So right off the bat, things are already crazy, right? Like we have a charge up rocket launcher that does strand damage initially and also solar damage. That is insane, but there's more. As you can see, funny enough, we have hard launch and liquid coils, which is just a crazy mashup of two perks I didn't think I'd ever see together. And then we have the anticipation trait. The charge speed of this weapon's next shot slowly increases over time. Anticipation builds more quickly as you deal more damage with other weapons. This is extremely unique, and we'll get to exactly what it does. So, first of all, guys, one of the most important things about this weapon is that the charge is staged. And essentially, there are multiple different versions of a projectile that you can shoot, multiple different tiers of damage you can reach. So you're gonna see right here, I'm just in the firing range. If you just press the trigger and shoot, you're gonna do that stasis blast for not that great damage. But if you hold it all the way, you're gonna see the charge like going up, and it's actually gonna click every once in a while. It goes, and then you fire this huge blast, and then you can see there's that initial impact and then the huge solar explosion that comes after. But if we actually take a look at the reticle as you're charging, you can see again it reaches certain stages. Like it's charging and then it reaches like a click. It keeps going, it reaches a click. Each one of these clicks is a different point at which you can release the trigger to do differing amounts of damage. So, with no charge up on this dummy, I do 1200 damage. By the way, the damage numbers in the firing range are a bit glitched. What you do against the dummies versus what's displayed is a bit different, but that shouldn't matter when we're comparing stuff to other things within the firing range. It matters when you compare stuff in the firing range to stuff outside the firing range. So, keeping all that in mind, yeah, 1200 damage to start. Then I'm going to charge and reach the first tier, the first click, and I release, and then that is going to do an actual explosion, and I do 3800 damage. Then I'm going to shoot again, guys, and I reach that second tick, and I release. It does a bigger explosion for 5200 damage. And then finally, I'm going to charge it all the way with 3 ticks. I release it, and that does 7800 damage. So from 1200 damage to 7800 damage based on how long you charge it. And again, you have all those points along the way that you can release it. If you're getting charged by an enemy, if you just need to get the shot off, you're still gonna do increased damage the longer you charge it. You don't always have to full commit to the longest charge, which is very, very interesting. Now, as for that anticipation trait, you can actually always see it on the bottom left of your screen when you have this rocket launcher out. And you're gonna see if I just sit around and do nothing, it will very, very slowly start to increase. But if I take out another weapon and I start doing damage and killing ads, and then I switch back to my rocket launcher, the charge is going to really go up much faster than me just waiting around. And this anticipation charge is going to be used up the next time you shoot your rocket launcher, and it's going to massively increase the charge rate. So this is a shot full charge with like no anticipation, zero anticipation bar. It is a long wind up. And then this is a full charge with a huge bar of anticipation. You can see it is way, way quicker. So even though it is an insanely long charge rate, if you are, in an activity where you're just getting kills, you're kind of doing your normal thing, and then you whip it out with the anticipation. It's funny how anticipation is also the word you want to use when describing what you're doing here, but you whip it out with anticipation fully charged, and then you're going to be able to get to that max charge a lot quicker and do that massive amount of damage, guys. But how much damage are we actually talking about? Because right now, we've kind of just compared it to itself and its different firing modes. Well, I put Carl, the dummy of practice, in the firing range. I did a full charge on him, and as you can see, that is 4,558 damage. And then I'm going to switch to a different weapon. I am changing nothing else. And the weapon I'm swapping to is the Parasite Exotic Grenade Launcher. Now, its Worm's Hunger intrinsic trait says that when you kill enemies, you essentially feed the worm inside, and when you get to times 20 Worm's Hunger, the Parasite is known to do a massive amount of damage, right? So, I get to Worm's Hunger times 20, then I whip out my Parasite, I shoot Carl, and 4,399 damage. So guys, it's close, don't get me wrong, but this new exotic rocket launcher with one full charge shot just did more damage than a times 20 Worm's Hunger Parasite, guys. Again, that is known for like some of the best chunk damage in the entire game. With that being said, there's some obvious downsides. You have to charge up that shot for, if you don't have anticipation, an insanely long time. You're actually going to see in the background gameplay, sometimes I will get killed trying to charge it up, or I barely get the shot off and then I get killed because like the charge is so long. Obviously you want to charge this behind cover, but yeah, like that is a downside. But going and having to kill a bunch of enemies to get Worm's Hunger is also kind of a downside, right? Like you have to charge up the Parasite as well. And funny enough, this exotic rocket launcher works in the same way. If you play it in the same playstyle where you go and get kills first, then you build up anticipation, and so it shoots a lot faster and its main downside is negated. But so overall, that is a crazy impressive amount of damage. Now, with the charge time being what it is, I don't think this is going to be an insane weapon for DPS. Where I think this might be used is, again, and that's why we're comparing it to the Parasite, in roles very similar to the Parasite, where you're just going, you're killing a bunch of enemies, and then you're building that anticipation so that you can get a really, really fast charging, full shot of this exotic off on an enemy, whereas the Parasite has a very short range. This has an extremely long range, like it just shoots straight as an arrow, so you can potentially use it on different enemies that you couldn't hit with the Parasite and stuff like that, but the damage potential is definitely there. The damage it does for a single shot is crazy. And hey, with the current ammo economy where it's actually very hard to get heavy and special ammo back, having your heavy do so much damage for a single shot might kind of be something the meta evolves into, right? You either have stuff like the Thunderlord that does so much damage stretch out over such a long period of time, then you have stuff like this in the Parasite where if you only get one shot, that one shot's gonna crank. So, that is what the new Raid Exotic does. Guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus, that is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.